Lightning McQueen was red, handsome, and fast. He was a fantastic race car, and he knew it. On the morning of the race of his life, Lightning spoke to himself. "There can only be one winner," he said, "and it will be me. I am the best." He smiled at himself in the mirror. Ka-chow! I am speed. I am faster than fast and quicker than quick. I am lightning. There was no car more confident than Lightning. Outside, his racing team was waiting for him. "Come on, Lightning," they called. "Are you ready?" At the racetrack, Lightning smiled for the cameras and the crowd. "Ka-chow!" he said. He was enjoying himself. Lightning loved attention. He wanted to be the most famous race car in the world. Lightning was thinking about the cameras, but he was also thinking about the big prize, the Piston Cup. Everyone was thinking about the Piston Cup. Who will win it this year? Lots of cars were racing that day, but the real race was between the three fastest cars. The King, Chick Hicks, and of course, Lightning were the three fastest cars in the race. The King was a great race car. He was an old car, but he was still very fast. Today, the King would race for the last time before he left the racing world. Chick Hicks tried for years to win the cup, but he lost to the King every time. He did not want to lose again. Lightning was the newest car. He wanted to win his first Piston Cup. He knew he was the best. Soon, the whole world would know it too. As soon as the race began, the three fastest cars took the lead. When Chick Hicks made some of the cars crash, Lightning raced around them. He was in the lead. The crowd went wild. Lightning loved it, but his team was scared. "He needs gas and new tires," they said. "He has to stop." Lightning raced to the side of the track and stopped for a second. "I'll take the gas," he told his team, "but I don't need tires. Nothing can stop me now. I am Lightning." "This is a mistake," cried his team. Lightning did not listen. Lightning raced back to the track. He raced faster and faster, and soon he was in the lead again. Then suddenly, Lightning's back tire blew out. Then another tire blew out. "No!" cried Lightning. The King and Chick Hicks were behind him. The finish line was only 100 feet away. Sparks were coming out the back of Lightning when he passed the finish line, at exactly the same time as the King and Chick Hicks. There was no winner. The 3 cars crossed the finish line together. The judges decided that the King, Chick Hicks, and Lightning would race again in 1 week. The new race would be in California. Lightning was pleased. But Lightning's team was angry. They decided to stop working with Lightning. He would not let them help him. Lightning did not care. He did not need anyone. The King told Lightning, "I know this business. You are an amazing racer, but you are stupid. Everyone needs a good team, even you." But Lightning was not listening. He was too excited. He was sure he would win the Piston Cup. After the race, the cars left for California. It was a long, long drive across the country. Lightning was traveling inside a big truck named Mac. Mac drove all night and all the next day. He wanted to stop for a break, but Lightning did not let him. Lightning promised to stay awake too, but he soon fell asleep. Mac tried to keep his eyes open, but he was too tired. Finally, his eyes closed. Then his back door accidentally opened. Still sleeping, Lightning slowly rolled out the back of the truck and onto the interstate. A loud noise woke Lightning. He was in the middle of the road. "Mac!" he shouted. Lightning raced through the dark, but he did not see Mac anywhere. Lightning was driving really fast. Suddenly, he heard another loud noise. It was coming from behind him. It was a police car. Lightning raced faster and faster. He was tearing up the road. When Lightning finally stopped, he looked behind him. He was in a small town. The road looked terrible. The town sheriff drove over to him. "Boy, you are in big trouble," he told Lightning. The sheriff was very angry. He took Lightning and locked him in a dirty old yard. When Lightning woke up the next morning, he heard a voice. "Good morning, Sleeping Beauty," shouted an old truck with a big smile. "My name is Mater." "What's your name?" Mater asked Lightning. "You don't know my name?" Lightning cried. The race car thought everyone knew his name. "Where am I?" he asked. "You're in Radiator Springs," smiled Mater. "It's the prettiest little town in the world." Mater took Lightning to the town courthouse. All the cars from the town were there. Everyone was angry at Lightning for tearing up the town's road. Maybe Lightning would have to fix the road. In the courtroom, the cars were not sure about Lightning. The town's judge, Doc Hudson, was angry. He did not like race cars. Lightning was not scared, and he was not sorry. He did not tear up the road on purpose. It was an accident. He was as confident as ever. Lightning was going to need a lawyer. "I'll do it," Mater shouted. Suddenly, the town's lawyer, Sally, drove into the courtroom. She was a beautiful blue sports car. Lightning could not take his eyes off of her. Doc Hudson wanted Lightning to leave town. But Sally said that Radiator Springs needed a nice road so that more cars could visit their town. The other cars agreed with Sally. Doc agreed too. He said that Lightning must fix the road. Lightning could not believe it. He had to get to California for the race. Lightning felt worse when they went outside. "Meet Bessie," said Doc. He pointed to a large, dirty old machine. "Bessie will help you to mend the road," he said. "Start here, where the road begins, and finish down there, where the road ends." "I have to get to California," cried Lightning. "I have a big race to win." "Then stop talking and start working," replied Doc. Lightning was surprised. Nobody usually spoke to him this way. But in Radiator Springs he was not famous. He was just the young car who ruined their road. Lightning tried to escape, but the sheriff and Sally caught him. He had to start work on the road. He worked quickly, and after an hour, the road was finished. Everyone came to see the new road. "It looks awful," Sally said. She was right. The road looked worse than before. Lightning did a terrible job. Doc Hudson told Lightning he would have to start again. Lightning could not believe it. "Listen, Grandpa," he said. "I'm not a big truck for mending roads. I'm a race car." "Is that right?" asked Doc. "Then let's have a race." Lightning laughed. "A race? With you?" he asked. "Yes," said Doc. "If you win, you go and I'll mend the road. If you lose, you'll stay and mend the road." Lightning agreed immediately. He could not wait for the race to start. When the race began, Lightning drove away at an amazing speed. But racing on a dirt road was different from driving on a racetrack, and he crashed on a difficult corner. He hurt himself when he landed. Ouch! Lightning was not happy, but he knew that he had to mend the road. This time, he worked carefully. He worked all through the night. When Doc heard him working late, he smiled to himself. "Music, sweet music," he said. In the morning, all the cars in town came to see Lightning's work. The road looked great. Mater was so happy that he danced on it. Lightning was beginning to understand that this road was very important to the cars of Radiator Springs. When he finished work that day, Lightning was very dirty. Sally asked Red, the town fire truck, to wash him off. "You have to be clean if you want to stay at the motel," said Sally. She owned the town's beautiful motel. "I have a room for you. Now you don't have to sleep in that dirty old yard." "Wow," said Lightning. Thank you, Sally. Thank you for working so hard on the road, she replied. You did a good job. Lightning smiled at Sally. She was nice. That night, Mater took Lightning for a ride in the country. They spoke about Sally. I think you love her, smiled Mater. They spoke about Mater's life. I just love Radiator Springs, he said sweetly. And they spoke about Lightning's big race. What's so important about this race? Asked Mater. It's the Piston Cup, said Lightning. It's the most important race in the world. Mater was beginning to understand that Lightning was a famous race car. Can you get me a ride in a helicopter? He asked, excitedly. Yeah? Okay, said Lightning. You're my new best friend, said Mater. Later that day, Lightning went back down to the dirt road to practice the difficult corner. But it was so hard. Every time he tried to turn right around the corner, he flew off the road. He could not understand it. Doc was watching and smiling. He tried to give Lightning some advice about driving on dirt. If you want to go left, you have to turn right. Lightning drove away. He thought Doc was just a crazy old car. When Doc left, Lightning tried the corner again. This time, he turned right to go left. Doc was right. Lightning did not like that Doc was right. But he was excited to learn something new. Later, Lightning continued his work on the road. He was happy when the cars in the town came to talk to him. Mater was funny. He said and did silly things. He was not very bright, but Lightning liked him. He was starting to like this little town. Sally heard Lightning and Mater talking. When Lightning returned to the motel, Sally came to speak to him. Will you really try to get Mater a helicopter ride? She asked. Can you do that? Maybe. But first I have to get to my race, said Lightning. Getting Mater a helicopter ride was not that important to him. You know, Mater believes in you, replied Sally. You should try to get that ride for him. Sally and Mater were giving Lightning a lot to think about. The next day, Lightning was looking around town when he saw Doc's garage. The door was open, and Lightning disappeared inside. High on a shelf at the back of the garage was a piston cup. Wow, breathed Lightning. Then he saw another piston cup, and another. Doc won 3 piston cups, he cried. He's a race car, just like me. Then Lightning saw an old newspaper. Doc's photograph was on the front, with the name Hudson Hornet. Lightning knew the name. Hudson Hornet was the greatest race car ever. It's Doc, said Lightning. Doc is the fabulous Hudson Hornet. Suddenly, Doc arrived. He was angry, but Lightning was excited. "You're the fabulous Hudson Hornet," he cried. "You have to teach me everything you know." "I already tried to teach you," said Doc. "You didn't want to listen." Lightning could not stop talking. "But you won all these cups," he said. "You are amazing. You have to help me to win my piston cup." Doc looked sad. "My racing days have ended," he said. "They are just empty cups to me. Now please leave, Lightning." Lightning did not understand. He left Doc's garage sadly. Lightning saw Sally outside. He felt happier when he saw her smile. "Shall we take a drive?" Sally asked. "Do you big city race cars ever just take a drive?" "Well, no," said Lightning. "But I can try." Sally laughed and started to drive. Really fast. Lightning followed her. As they drove, they talked. "You're so beautiful and intelligent," Lightning said. "Why do you live in a place like this?" Sally told him that she came to Radiator Springs many years ago. The cars of the town were so kind and friendly that she decided to stay. Then Sally took Lightning to her favorite place. They stopped on a hill and looked down. Below, they could see the interstate highway. It was a long, straight road which cut right through the land. The cars drove very fast on the interstate. 40 years ago, explained Sally, the interstate was not there. Cars who wanted to cross the country had to go slowly. They stopped at all the little towns. They bought food and gas. They stayed in our motels. Radiator Springs had lots of visitors back then. Now we have almost none. Everyone prefers to travel more quickly. Lightning enjoyed his drive with Sally. "It's kind of nice to slow down sometimes," he said. A little while later, Lightning saw Doc practicing his racing turns. "You're amazing," said Lightning. "Why did you quit racing?" "I didn't quit. I crashed," said Doc. "When I was okay again, the racing world didn't want me anymore. They had a new favorite. The racing world is not for me," he told Lightning, "and you're from that world. I think you should finish that road and leave Radiator Springs," he said. Lightning worked all night on the road, and in the morning it was finished. But Lightning was not ready to go just yet. Lightning went to Luigi's tire store. "Give me the best tires you've got," he said. Luigi was very pleased. He did not have many visitors to his store. Luigi chose some white tires. "These white tires say, 'Look at me. Here I am. Love me,'" he said. "They're perfect," smiled Lightning. Then Lightning visited all the stores in town. Lightning wanted to do something nice for the town before he left. He noticed that none of the lights in the town were working, so he mended every one of them. When it got dark, the town looked beautiful. Everyone was excited. "It's like 40 years ago," smiled Sally. She looked into Lightning's eyes, and he smiled. Then they went driving through town. Suddenly, they saw helicopters in the sky above them. The roads quickly filled with cars. "We've found him!" someone cried. "We've found Lightning!" Then Lightning saw Mac. "I looked everywhere for you," he told Lightning. "Come on," said Mac. "You have to go win this race." Lightning said goodbye to Sally. "Thanks for everything," she said. She looked very sad. "It's just a road," said Lightning. "No," replied Sally. "It was much more than that." "Good luck, Lightning," she said. "I hope that you win your race." Then someone pushed Lightning into the back of Mac the truck. Before he could say goodbye to his other friends, he was on his way to California. Sally drove sadly away to tell Doc and Mater the news. Above her, the lights of Radiator Springs shone brightly. When she reached Doc, Sally heard someone thanking him. She was thanking Doc for telling the world where to find Lightning. Sally could not believe it. "Why did you do that, Doc? Everyone wanted Lightning to stay." "It's best for everyone, Sally," Doc explained. Sally, Mater, and all the other cars of the town watched sadly when Lightning McQueen drove away from Radiator Springs. It was late, and slowly the lights began to go out in Radiator Springs. Lightning was on his way to California. Lightning arrived in California on the day of the big race. Before he left his room, he spoke to himself. "I'm Lightning," he began. "I am Speed. One winner." But something felt wrong. Lightning felt different. He was still confident. But winning the race did not feel as important this time. He tried to think about winning, but he kept thinking about his friends. When the race began, Lightning kept making mistakes. He could not stop thinking about his friends back in Radiator Springs. Suddenly, through his radio, Lightning heard Doc's voice. "I didn't come all this way to see you quit." Lightning was really pleased. Doc, Mater, Luigi, Guido, and Fillmore were going to be his racing team. "I can't believe you came," Lightning cried happily. "Of course we came," said Mater. "We're your friends." Doc smiled. "I'm sorry, Lightning," he said. "I was wrong. You helped us with our road, and now we want to help you to win your race." "Great," said Lightning. "I need your help. I don't think I can do this alone." "You're not alone," said Doc. Lightning felt confident now because his friends were there to help. He started driving faster and faster. Again, the real race was between the 3 fastest cars. The King was driving well, but Chick Hicks was driving wildly. He drove beside Lightning, and tried to push him off the track. One of Lightning's tires blew out, but Luigi's assistant, Guido, was waiting at the side of the track. Guido changed all 4 tires. It was the fastest tire change ever. Lightning was back in the race in less than a minute. This time, Lightning knew that he needed his team. Suddenly, there was a terrible noise. The king was off the track. Chick Hicks pushed him. The king rolled over and over. He was hurt. Doc closed his eyes. This was like the crash he had many years ago. Chick Hicks did not stop to help the king. Instead, he raced across the finish line. But Lightning stopped racing immediately. He drove over and pushed the king back onto the track. Then he pushed the king across the finish line. "What are you doing?" the king asked. "I think the king should finish his last race," said Lightning. Chick Hicks won the Piston Cup. The crowd was not happy. "Boo!" they cried when he crossed the finish line. When the king was okay, Lightning went to speak to his friends. "You made us proud," they said. "I've learned that there are more important things than winning," said Lightning. Just then, a large car from the amazing Dinoco team arrived. "We'd like to be your team," he told Lightning. "Thank you," said Lightning, "but I have my team right here. If there's anything we can do for you, let me know," said the Dinoco car. "Actually," said Lightning, "there is." Mater got his wish. He was flying in a helicopter. "I'm so happy," he shouted, as the Dinoco helicopter carried him over Radiator Springs. Lightning helped his other friends, too. He told all the race cars to buy their tires in Radiator Springs. Soon, Luigi and Guido were busier than ever. "Thank you, Lightning," Luigi shouted. Lightning smiled. It felt good to help his friends. It felt good to see visitors in Radiator Springs. And it felt good not to be alone. "I think I'll stay here for a while," Lightning told Sally. She smiled shyly and said, "I'm glad that you came back, Lightning." "Ka-chow," said Lightning. But just then, Mater flew past in the helicopter. He waved and called, "Hello there, friends!" Lightning and Sally laughed. "I know," said Sally. "Let's race. To dinner." "Why don't we take a nice, slow drive?" suggested Lightning. "No way," said Sally. And she shot off along the road with Lightning, who was laughing right behind her.